Any luck down there?
Oh, yeah, no. It turns out fixing a blackout on a nuclear submarine is easy. I just turn it off and on again.
Wait, really?
No, stop asking.
Hey, I don't mean to alarm anyone, but Seagal is acting funky.
Look, just move her dad onto something else for now while I get this fixed. We're running on emergency power and her internal battery is dying over here.
When a device is dying, it means the battery is running low. But your iPhone or Android isn't dead forever. The same could be said for software. Any mid-2000s Flash game website is a graveyard of defunct games because the software running it became obsolete. Thankfully, Flash fans can emulate these games. But not all software is so lucky.
Lord, no. Could you find a more opportune time to do an episode?
There's a video game murderer on the loose, and they could be coming for your favorite game. Lock up your consoles, 'cause the DRM killer is on the loose.
You know, this wouldn't be so urgent if you just let me take her offline for a bit.
If she reboots, she'll finalize that update we did the other day. I only just managed to stop it last time.
Her programming is archaic. She should have just been patched a long time ago.
Just trust me, kid. If you think HQ is surveilling us now, just wait till she connects to their central database.
Well, if you want to do it the hard way, find something to port her into. We can move her using an SFTP and slap some protocol protection to cover the input lag on the power supply.
Huh?
Just plug her into something, anything, before she dies.
December 2014. Gamers around the world log into their devices to find popular racing game The Crew disappeared in the dark recesses of the internet. The body? Nowhere to be found on any of the most common storefronts. The only clue? A note from the perpetrator left at the scene of the crime. Why'd I pour this? I hate coffee. Time was ticking. Who kidnapped the crew and why? To get to the bottom of this murder mystery, our first lead brings us to these servers mentioned in the note. But what are servers?
Oh, I know this. The main difference between a personal computer and a server is how powerful they are and what we use them for. A server connects systems over a network to access data and execute specific tasks related to that info, displaying web pages, sending emails, and playing video games. A server isn't usually a single computer, but many working together, like cabinets housing server hardware that work in tandem. Servers don't really need to be those towers of flashing lights. Any computer with the right capabilities can be a server.
Can I be a server?
No, that's my job. Order up.
Well, the servers that run Netflix or RuneScape are going to need to be orders of magnitude more powerful than what you need to, send an email. These large-scale servers also need to be able to handle specialized processes many times a second. Servers can be local, like located right in our own ship, or they can be located remotely, anywhere from the next town over to the other side of the world. When you play a video game or stream a movie, your computer connects to a server where the information is hosted, which allows you to access it. When gaming online, servers are constantly sending and receiving information about you and everyone else you're playing with. Where your character is, what you have, what you're doing, and where everyone else is, what they have, and what they're doing. Think of it like ordering at a restaurant. I have a menu and the chef has the food, but without a server to send or receive information between us, I can't really order food and the chef really can't make it for me.
If you're hungry, just tell me.
No, I'm not. Dunk, it's an analogy.
So Italian. I got you.
Speaking of Italian, this jug of Americano isn't doing it for old Seagal. We need something with higher voltage. Dunk, throw me the bimbembo.
Catch.
Wait, no. Hi.
Almost got it.
Are you kidding me?
No one knows why they called him Big J. By all accounts, he was kind of regular-sized. But something in this detective's gut said the kid knew more than he was letting on.
That's not your gut, dude. I haven't even finished talking.
Something told me to keep digging. Whoever killed the crew was bound to make a mistake. And one mistake is all it takes to finger a man.
Okay, well, it seems like Lorne is losing his mind over there, so, There are different types of game servers that work slightly differently from each other. There's peer-to-peer and dedicated server hosting. Peer-to-peer is when the server is hosted on one of the other player's machines, either with a single host computer or a system where all players act as equal hosts. To return to the restaurant analogy, a peer-to-peer network is like a potluck dinner. Each guest brings their own dish to the party and serves their dish to everyone while getting their share of others as well. I ask you for some cabbage rolls and you pass them over. Then you ask me for a slice of my homemade lasagna and I pass you some. Each guest is an individual computer passing information back and forth with other individual computers. But then there's dedicated servers. Those are the big towers of flashing lights. These are the most popular for large-scale multiplayer gaming. Rows upon rows of computers send and receive information to thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of players simultaneously. Dedicated servers in our food analogy, because let's keep that going, are teams of waiters and waitresses who manage all of the orders going in and all the food coming out.
Servers serve. Yes, I get it.
Wow, yep, you sure are a regular Steve Wozniak now.
No, my name is Dunk, remember?
In the Navy, you can have a lot of fun in the Navy. Doors open.
This mystery runs deeper than I thought. These servers Jay described connect devices together for multiplayer gaming, but that doesn't explain who killed the crew or what their motive was.
Running servers costs money, dude. The energy needed to run and cool the machines and the labor costs for maintenance workers. That's a money sink that only works if the software they run is bringing in cash. When a game's playership drops and it stops being profitable, it makes sense that a company would stop supporting their servers, right? Come on, that's just basic economics.
This just doesn't add up. The crew was single player, so what gives? What servers did the crew need so badly that it died when it was cut off? Couldn't it just exist on my machine forever?
Well, some single-player games may require a constant connection to external servers for no good reason other than a little thing called digital rights management. Companies use this tech to protect their copyright and control how people use their product. It's supposed to prevent pirating. But does it?
The clues aren't connecting. Copyright protection is good. Otherwise, anyone could just take anything and do whatever they want with it. I don't want some yo-ho-hoser duplicating our seagal. There's a whole ocean of moral dilemmas that come with duplicating a consciousness.
Well, back in the day, video game DRM was a special code printed in the box for a game that you needed to input in order to play it. Nowadays, it's a lot more sophisticated. DRM is how companies can fight against piracy, but it gets contentious when DRM tactics make their product worse. Always online DRM requires constant internet connection to play the game, instantaneously checking if you have the code, and if you don't have a way to connect to the server, the game just won't work. The crew wasn't the only victim with a proverbial DRM gun to the head. 2012's Diablo 3 and 2013's SimCity also launched with always online DRM to a resounding chorus of angry gamers. Boo! I was one of those angry gamers. PC Gamer Wiki gives us a list of hundreds of examples of always online DRM games. Some you'd recognize and some you probably wouldn't. And despite the general disdain for the practice, it's actually not that uncommon nowadays.
I knew I was onto something deep. The list of dead games showed a concerning pattern. Most of these games were all online. Always online DRM wouldn't affect players in the same way since they needed to connect to the internet anyway. When user bases dwindle to unprofitability, servers get shut down.
How is our ship deemed profitable? We're using a small city's worth of electricity just to run Seagal, let alone the rest of the ship. There's no way we're generating enough capital to stay afloat.
When your vessel runs on wishes and love, you don't need to worry about the cost of electricity. You only need to worry about likes, comments, and subscribers. Do it.
They really didn't tell you what we do here.
Oh, my last posting took samples and tested them in a lab like a normal research vessel. But this place, oh god, it's like if the Muppets made a Men in Black movie.
I watched that.
But what made The Crew different from any other defunct game? Can't some tech-savvy people make their own servers and run it there?
Well, always online DRM requires a dedicated server to verify that your copy is legit. Because of that, it prevents players from hosting their own peer-to-peer servers when a publisher inevitably shuts down their own servers. But like, seriously, why should the product I paid for shut down because the company that owns it doesn't want to pay for the servers they forced me to connect to so they can make sure I don't let my cousin borrow it? Come on!
Okay, so maybe this isn't much of a murder mystery. Ubisoft literally told us they were the killers. Reforming how DRM works seems like a task too monumental for any one person to take on. The problem isn't that companies are trying to protect their product from thieves, but the way they're doing it now makes their product worse for a legitimate consumer. Is there anything we can do to prevent a copycat killer from striking again?
Well, there's a consumer movement to petition governments to ban this sort of DRM. The website Stop Killing Games uses the crew as a springboard to address just that. As of 2025, they have complaints lodged with Canada, Brazil, Australia, Germany, France, the UK, and the United States. You can actually find this petition at stopkillinggames.com. Look, the point isn't that we want to play the crew again. Well, I don't know, maybe some people do. I don't. I'm more into JRPGs. But it is to keep video game developers from making choices that negatively impact their consumers. Stop Killing Games isn't about games, it's about protecting your rights as a consumer. As boring as it may sound, policy and its enforcement is an effective way to reform seemingly untouchable companies and their anti-consumer practices. What the hell is this?
We ran out of things to plug her into, so we made the best of it.
Yeah, buddy. Don't be alarmed. Get it? It's an alarm clock.
God, I hate it here.
Good news is she didn't go offline, so all her data is safe. Hooray!
I still don't understand why it's so important that our software isn't updated.
Because I can't be sure she won't lose a part of herself again. She's already lost enough.
Oh, sorry, what'd you say?
I said, where's Herbie?
Oh, I hate that guy. I hope he got lost.
So as I was saying, Hatsune Miku is a Vocaloid released in 2007 by Krypton Future Media.
Surprise, it's me, Lorne.exe. Hope you're having a swell day. Hey, want a cheat code for instant joy? Hit that like button, comment about our strengths and weaknesses, subscribe to our channel, or check out our Patreon. Oh, better skedaddle. I think I hear a game shark approaching. Later, folks.